I'm Jeffrey de Pauw and I got myself a 575 horsepower Jaguar F-Type V8 SVR. This episode I weld for the first time aluminium. We are under heavy fire. We are also starting to verbally abuse a Jaguar F-Type, which made my dad question what we started. The front end actually turns back to black, which is good news. And here you can see a man reading an instruction manual, a rarity on itself. So yeah, on previous episodes I showed all of the damage, but here I show you again quite a lot, especially to the rear quarter, and of course on front a cracked steering rack. So yeah, all in all, quite a lot.
Alright, so I need this small bracket for the another bracket where the hinge will be on from the bonnet. So it's on this side. It's also connected on the top. It will be, well, fixed on this side. So this is just an extra bracket. So I'm going to weld this plate of aluminium on top to form some kind of a bracket. I did a full day of test welding. I'm not great at it. I got a MIG welder, but it's set up for aluminium. So it has an aluminium program. Which is in a pulse. It makes a lot of noise. I got it fixed, plates on top, matching composition, so just going to try. Wrapped up the whole car in a fire blanket. So yeah, wish me luck.
So aluminium welding, it needs to be clean. So I thoroughly cleaned it, grind it, and here I'm heating it up. This ensures also that there is no moisture during the welding, which would ruin the aluminium weld. And well, this is how a pulse MIG welder sounds. Well, as you can hear, it makes a lot of noise. So what I'm actually doing here right now is doing the long bead weld, and on the other side I'm also doing the same. So I'm welding it up from two sides, so it gives a really strong weld. This type of welding was completely new to me, so it's pretty fun to actually learn something about this, because aluminium welding is not that easy. So yeah, welding aluminium requires a lot of clean surfaces, so I'm cleaning it with thinner, etc., and also inox brush weld.
Alright, really warm, packed up for welding. I'm really happy with it. First time aluminium welding. Well, first definite try. I did a lot of tests, but I'm happy with this. It looks really mint, I must say. And as I said, the bracket only kind of keeps it sort of in place because it's connected on three other places. So for the rest, yeah, the inside is a bit but it's really strong, or I think it's strong, and it looks strong, it works, everything fits. I call it a success, quite honestly. I used a lot of argon gas. I eventually found out I had to go to like 15 liters a minute. And then the welds became a lot nicer with a lot of more penetration. So yeah, really happy with it. Now I only need on this part to weld up in between here, which I'm going to dismantle now so I can just move on with the welding, because after that the front will be done in terms of welding. Then I can give it a good respray back to black. And we can actually build up the radiator pack again, because I did not want to weld with the radiator pack in it, because it's a lot of damage probably otherwise. Cool, learned something new, welding aluminium.
So first on the other side I welded shut the small gap I have and grinded it. This does not give a lot of strength, so that's why I want to have that extra plate on it. I'll try to weld it around. It will give even more strength then. So first heat up again. So again, the nice sound of pulse welding. I did eventually wear hearing protection because it made such a high pitch noise.
So this all fits in now. It looks great, if you ask me. It's very strong probably. It fits in well, it fits in nicely. So now the only thing left, I can prepare this for a respray in the right color, in the chassis color itself. So I'm just going to take some stuff off again, prepare for a spray, and then this is finished for the new extension legs. Also need the respray, and we can put in the radiator pack, and then we might be able to start it. So really looking forward to that. So quickly moving on. All right, car is wrapped in. Time for a respray for the chassis legs and the extension piece, so we can move on with the radiator pack. Was waiting for this for quite a long time, so well, time to give it a respray.
First of all, I gave it a good primer coat, epoxy primer coat, which is actually a fast curing one, so I could, well, speed up the process a little bit. So beforehand, I of course treated it well, especially for the parts that got welded, cleaned it up nicely, and of course, also as you can see now on the other side, we sprayed it in a nice thick coat. Now it was time for the color with the color code of the Jaguar, and we sprayed it nicely in the original color. Quite honestly, from Jaguar itself, it didn't look this nice. And when this dried up, I gave it a nice coat of clear coat. And look at that. Really shiny, looking good. But well, that's always what you have with new paint. I actually did the same with some separate body panels I eventually need to put on. And here you can see them shining brightly and drying up in the sun, looking great again.
Alright, everything arrived for the white pipe upgrade. So we're going to dismantle a V8 to do some pre-maintenance. Yeah. Because we can reach things now so good. So we need to take off the whole supercharge element to remove a few pipes. So yeah, first for everything, first for us. Yeah. We're going to avoid losing any bolts.
Time to start. I took off the two coolant hoses to the supercharger on one side, my dad did the ones on the other. After that, my dad removed the bolts from the cover plate, and I was working on the thermostat.
Zo! Oh. Ja.
Ik zag hem gaan. Here's your bullet.
Alright.
He's asking who's using the special spanner for these clamps. I said, well, the guys who had 6 or 7 from these clamps against their head, they're using the special spanner.
Alright, this is the thermostat. The bottom elbow we reused, that's apparently okay. This one we replace, also because the holding bracket broke off. So the piece is still on the car. Down. The good thing is, we don't see more damage behind here. So, we're taking the cover off. Let's see what's below that.
So, below this cover you can actually see these square boxes. They are actually where the coolant runs through to cool the air which goes in and to cool the supercharger. Pretty interesting.
Alright, the inside of the supercharger, that's here. So that is compressing the air which comes in.
Very important, we've blocked up all the inlet ports.
That's the first white pipe.
After a lot of work, and as you could see in the intro, we verbally abused the Jaguar a couple times. We got the whole supercharger off.
This is a supercharger removed. So here you can see it's the V8. It's very clean below. It's really a new car. And this is the remaining pipe we need to remove, and a plastic piece below. And this one, which is for your engine, for your heating towards the from the engine to your cabin. So that's what you need to do an upgrade.
Now all of this has been removed, we could have finally reached this Y pipe, which gets brittle and cracks really easily apparently due to age. It's unbelievable the amount of stuff you need to remove to replace this small plastic pipe.
Alright, so we're going to replace the front pipes, but in the back you have another one, what I mentioned, and this is the replacement aluminium one we're going to put in. So it's just 4 bolts and an electrical connector, and that's about it. So we're going to do that right now.
This one is held up with only 4 bolts again on the back of.
Ja, net is.
And after removing a few clips, it was finally released from the back of the engine. Having it removed, we could replace the O-rings and actually put on the aluminium version of this heater manifold.
So here you can clearly see what we are going to replace. This is the plastic one, we'll replace with this one. The thermostat housing is over here, also because it broke off one of the ears during the crash. This one will replace this one, and voila! Job done!
We just need to reach one more plastic pipe, which is behind the water pump. So we remove the tensioner from the auxiliary belt. Having this one removed, we can reach the water pump. Here you can see the plastic pipe we need to remove. So after that we can undo these bolts, and after that we can remove the water pump itself. We vacuum off any coolant that might have been leaking out, and also replace this small gasket I'm putting off right here. We can remove this small, plastic pipe and replace it with a new rubber seal around it, which I'm pushing on right here.
One new rubber seal.
And then finally we can actually put on the new aluminium version of the same pipe. Having this replaced, we put on the water pump again. It's only 4 bolts, and of course here we have a small connector which normally is plastic, which we actually replace with a brass one. This elbow is normally plastic and gets brittle also.
The new Y pipe.
This new aluminium Y pipe sits below the supercharger as you've seen, and here my dad puts in the 4 bolts again, which fixes them, and of course he also torques them up to the right spec.
Time to reassemble!
And well, reassembling was quite a job again. There's so much in the way, like pipes, vacuum lines, wiring I had to attach again to the bottom, which I'm doing here right now. Then you also have the gaskets between the supercharger and the engine manifold. Well, it was such a hassle, but eventually we managed to get it back on. Here you can see my dad torquing up the head bolts, and here we put on the last gasket.
We thought we forgot it, but it is the right one. I hope, by the way.
Ja, goh.
Having the fresh new aluminium pipe in place, we could put on the cover, and that's it.
Bits and bolts are usually pretty expensive. I found this whole package. It's almost 20 kilos of bolts and nuts, etc. from a Jaguar F-Type, which got stripped for only like 70 euros. So I'll show you what I actually bought. That's a complete set of Jaguar F-Type bolts. Alright, I also have new belts. I'm at it right now. The They should go every 9 years. So yeah, I also have the supercharger belt, so both will be replaced. Then they are done for a long time, probably. I need to, of course you can remember what you did. I took a picture so we can loop them in the right way. I need to get this this spanner off by doing these bolts off to get to the auxiliary belt. So let's go.
So this tensioner was actually behind a bracket which also had another tensioner for the supercharger belt. So yeah, they are combined and you have to take this bracket off to reach this auxiliary belt, which is quite easy to reach eventually.
And then here we have the auxiliary belts. Here's my roadmap I need to follow with the new serpentine belt. I also replaced this because the thermostat pushed into the belt itself, so I want to avoid that it might have a slight damage, which wouldn't be nice at all. So I'll start with putting it behind here. I'm missing something. I made a mistake. So now this one goes on again and the belt runs across this one. Yeah, like this. Alright, now the new supercharger belt.
This was tight, really tight, but I got it on.
Double check around this one, on top of this one, around the tensioner, straight down with the crankshaft, around here, back to this one. Alright, that's finished. So what we have left is now the aluminium housing. I replaced the elbow here also, because it might have also got a small damage or future damage in it. So this one is replaced. So these hose clamps are fixed around it right now. I got this brass elbow in, so I need to get this pipe around here. It's the water pump. This is the new aluminium pipe which goes here, and then we have, let me see, the bottom pipes. I will first do the top ones, then it will mount just right here. So try to get things on. Well, it's tight fit, that's good. Clip off. And it clamps on the hose clamps, like that. It's perfect. Right, that's on. Right, looking good. Everything is on. Then we have the wire over here. This one goes in here. This one goes up in here. That's connected. Then we have some pipes, some more clips. Always fun, those clips. That's it. And this one goes to the oil cooler, or now the transmission cooler, I think. This one goes at the bottom part. Voila. That's done. So this is attached, this is attached, this one is fixed, that one is fixed. Good. That's one upgraded thermostat housing. 8 is gone, 8 here. So you need to do it that way. They are torqued at 25 newton-meters. So that's what we're going to do. So first the middle ones.
Yep, you're going to see all of them. We're almost done, don't worry.
That's it. Done. That's all done right now.
Remaining only some electrical connectors which are sitting on top of the supercharger.
Everything is tightened again. Everything is connected again. I consider this done. So right now we can move on actually towards packing up the new radiator, etc. This way we really know if we succeeded.
However, that's something we're going to do in the next episodes. I'm going to wrap it up for now, otherwise the episode gets too long. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.
I have a dream, that's all I need. I'll make it happen with some work and belief. Know what I want, so I'll take it on. I've made mistakes, but mistakes make you strong.